Just coming off that win, how do you guys think the team will do against Kearney?
Go ahead.
Gotcha. I think we'll do fine. We, putting up 50 points as an offense, you're going to come out with a lot of confidence going into the next game, and defense shutting them down to 3 points. I feel like they're going to feel the same. So, and I feel like we have a great game plan, and the way we prepared from week to week, we understand how we need to prepare and what we're trying to look for. So, just a lot of confidence between everybody.
See, you had 2 long rushing touchdowns on Saturday. Just how's that building your confidence for this next game?
Oh, yeah. Seeing me outrun some guys, kind of surprised me a little bit. I know I'm fast, but that definitely showed me that I can definitely, go and make those plays happen. So, I feel like it's building my tendency to look for those plays and, try to make something out of nothing and,
Kearney is currently 3-3 in MIAA. Just how does that conference record? Do you guys look at conference records? Just
Sure, we do. They're 5-3 overall, 3-3 in the conference. So, they're having a good year, to be honest with you. And they lost last week in a close one. I think some would say it was an upset. I think Missouri Southern is well on their way and has a good program, but I'm sure Kearney wasn't expecting that. So Kearney's a program that's scary because they know how to win, they know they can win, they know what their expectations are. I'm sure they got woke up a little bit last week, from that loss. So they'll come in guns a-blazing. But we kind of look at more personnel than more record, because sometimes records can be deceiving, and they have, like you said earlier, the defense is really good. They have a lot of good players there, and we'll do what we can to attack their weaknesses, just like they will. And I think we've got a good plan. But that's probably more important than record, is kind of how we can exploit them and minimize our weaknesses, if you will.
Coach, I'm going to kind of still Collins thunder here. 7 rushes of 40 yards or more on the season. Offensive line has allowed the nation's fewest sacks. As an offensive coach, offensive mind, kind of talk about what an offensive line means to an offense, a good offensive line, what they bring, and then obviously as that offensive line evolves and grows together, and talk about kind of those things that happen as well.
Yeah, that's the core of your team. It's the engine of the vehicle, whatever cliches you have, it starts and stops with them. If they have a bad day, the offensive collectively will have a bad day. Quarterbacks get all the publicity and the receiving, skill guys do, but without them, that's what we call them, kind of like the Secret Service. And, they're in the shadows protecting those in the spotlight, and we try and embrace them. We like the big boys, they get to eat first whenever we eat. You try and give them little treats here and there. They get on the bus first, and but it's really an important group to me. And we put a lot of time into that group, spend a lot of work on them, and then they start taking pride in it. And if you watch, like when Z's scoring the touchdown, there's 5 guys behind him that are doing something silly, celebrating. They love it just as much. And we're a unit, and so it's huge. And, they understand that, to give up only 2 sacks, that, receivers got to get open, quarterbacks got to get rid of the ball, be on time, and, understand what we are. And so I think Coach Prosser and that offensive line has done a tremendous job. And then, again, the game plan-wise of the offensive coaches putting those skill players in position to hit those home runs is big, and then the players are executing them. So it starts up there. I don't know what we'd do without them, but we definitely emphasize the offensive defensive line a lot, and without them we'd be in trouble. So all of this success that they're having is really due to them, and what they're doing. So we're really proud to have them, and that's a cool stat. You have 7 explosive runs of over 40 yards. It's great. We aim to be explosive, and to be that dangerous is good, because it's hard to score a lot, so if you can take it in 1 or 2 plays, I prefer you do that more often.
Z, and then same to you, kind of with that question. I don't know if it was Pierce, I don't know if it was Wes. I heard a soundbite. They said it's fun to look up and see Z running down the sideline. And so, to you, what's that confidence? How does that affect your confidence there taking a snap, to know that you got an offensive line that's going to allow you to work through your progressions or hand the ball off and make a play? Just what's that bring to you as a quarterback, as a young quarterback growing, and to look forward and see that steady offensive line?
All right, well, just builds my confidence, knowing that they're going to protect me, and that once we make the right calls and whatnot, I'm not going to be hit, throwing the rock. And that I'm gonna have a clean lane when I'm running it. So, just a lot of trust between us, and that just makes the whole offense move and makes everybody feel better about them doing their part. So.
What did you guys see, Coach Mack, what did you see during last week's game that you're going to implement in the coming games?
Well, that's a good, hopefully Z. I'd like to see more of him and do that. But I think the biggest thing, all joking aside, was our third downs were really good. It started on the first drive of the game. We had RPOs called and we ended up running, but I think we ran like 10 out of the first 11 plays. And the pass being on third down that we converted. And so we started off hot on third down. And so kind of hoping to keep that train rolling. You know, we were in the 20% for a while, and that struggles. So as you get playing better teams, they're not going to give you, you know, easy third downs conversions the rest of the way. But for us, it's going to be staying ahead of the sticks on first down. Like we got a lot of second mediums, which is, you got a lot more freedom. If you're in second long a lot, it's hard. So offensively, we'll stay in that mode, you know, if you will, with Z and Chris, and they kind of both run the same, you know, things. But we'll throw in some new formations and some new adjustments that will make them think a little bit. But our guys should know it. And then defensively, it's going to be kind of a fist fight in a phone booth. They're going to line up and try and hit you, and that's what we're good at. So we'll see. We're not going to change much there on defense. And so we'll keep that same game plan going. I hope we get a few turnovers. And then special teams was an area we've kind of talked about, kind of reinserting ourselves. We've gotten close. It's 2 weeks in a row we've had to block the punt. We're going to capitalize on one of them where we've blocked the punt. And then the return game, they're kind of kicking away from Dom, you know, a little bit. In the return game, we only had, I guess, 2 returns last week, which is good. It's a good problem to have, but we want to capitalize when we get that. And then, you know, punt returns, you know, Dom just keep making good decisions when to catch it. So field position will be big as we get towards the end of the season, and as we're rolling, is just trying to get ourselves into good spots so we can score.
Coach, you talk about how hard it is to win games in this league. This program itself has been 30 years consecutively of winning seasons. Yeah. Some that you've got to be part of, some that you got to watch, some that you've played in. In your words, what does that say about the Paw? What does that say about Northwest football? What does it say about the separation that they've had, this program's had, into the rest of the country for so long, and what's it take to do that? Yeah,
it really means, you hear the saying culture wins a lot. It's almost cliche-ish, but to have 30 straight seasons of a winning record is very impressive in that you have to overcome coaching changes, you have to overcome injuries, you have to overcome other teams rising. It's just, there's so many pieces that go into it, but ultimately, it was, to me, it's the brand, and it's the Paw, and when you sign up or commit to come to play for Northwest, you understand what you're coming to play for, and there's a few non-negotiables, and there's pride at stake no matter what. So you don't ever really accept losing. There might be times that are tough, but it's not, well, we'll be better next year. It's like we've got to do whatever we can to right the ship. So I think, number one, leadership from the athletic director position, on down to the head coaches have all been great through here at managing that and massaging where you need to go, because we've all been on teams that, a couple bad injuries and they have a losing record, or things go away. It's just really hard to do. So nothing to do with me, but I think it's impressive that Northwest has had that long of success, and it really started with Coach T, and then the university and the administration support staff gave them what they needed to sustain that, and we have to keep doing that because it's keeping up with the Joneses game now, and we want to 30 more years would be great. I'd sleep better, I'm sure if I could forecast that. So there's a lot of people that go into that, and there's just not one university. I can't imagine how many schools are even remotely close to that that have been there. I knew Nebraska was one for a long time, and then when it went away, and so we want to keep it there, but I'm tickled to be a part of it now.
Officially homecoming this week, but for you, it's been homecoming since December.
Yeah.
Coming back. You'd say you always get chills thinking about this thing. What does the real homecoming mean here, coming back? A lot more people even coming back to see the program that I haven't seen you throughout the year too.
It's fun, man. It's like, those are as players, it was like, okay, what are the big games, when there's going to be a lot of fans, because the more fans there are, the louder it is, the tougher the game, the atmosphere. I mean, the more fun it is to get up and play in. And same thing goes coaching. It's like, all right, I want to coach in big games. Those are fun. You want to coach where, I mean, the atmosphere is good and the guys get to put on a show for what they've worked all week for. And so homecoming's fun because you get, when you talk about 30 years of success, well, that at least 25 since I've been gone, I'm going to know a lot of those people that are coming back, and they get to see, okay, these are the current cast. These are the guys that are going to issue a new generation in, and what are they like? They want to come see Z. They want to come see, the O-line. They want to come see Carter Edwards, Shane Fredericks, and all those guys. What are they about? And to me, this is our opportunity to say, okay, this is what we are. This is how we play. This is what we're trying to represent for you, because you guys kind of built all this. That's here. That's the facilities, the national championships, everything. You all did that, and now it's our turn to move forward and impress you. So I'm really excited. I can't wait for our kids to go out. And it's just more to, I say show off, but it's more just like, it's like a proud parent. I'm really proud of these kids. I'm really proud of these coaches, and I'm like, go play in front of these guys. And I tell them all the time, I was like, they don't see how much work you've put in. And there's no surprise over any of the success to me, because they've been working so hard since January, and you could just see the way they practice. So, when you come out, we've said it before, a few games, like, go show them what you've done. Go play loose and have fun and know who you are. So that's me. I don't know what you think, for your first homecoming as a player, but you're in for a surprise. It'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
Z, I got to ask, are you more comfortable throwing the ball or running the ball?
Honestly, I like to do both. I'm
Okay.
comfortable doing both. I've played football since I was 5, so I've played a whole lot of different positions. I've been running the ball my whole life, so I'm definitely newer to throwing the ball, but having a coach like Coach Mack who can just help me grow and help me build my confidence and reading coverages and whatnot, it's just made me feel that much more comfortable throwing the rock. So
He'd rather throw it.
rather
He'd rather throw it. I'm always kind of like, I'm always saying something, but he's a good one. He's doing both, and it's been fun to watch.
Z, what was your last official 40 time?
I think we ran them in the spring. I ran like a high 4.5. I think it was around there, but
You're lying.
I think I might be a little bit faster.
You're lying.
Nobody ever asked me my 40 time. It's fast enough, is what you say. That's the, do you
Just
get caught
fast
or
enough.
not? So.
Right. I appreciate the compliment.
Yes, sir.